Hello, Sean. How are you? Have to send one quick tweet to Dave, and then we'll get this playing on. He left his stream on, and he might not know. I'll make sure he doesn't get in trouble. Don't want to get him. Don't want him to prance around or whatever. Anyway, so let's do the playing of Magic since we've wasted a minute of our opponent's time. This hand is on the slowish side, but I think it's pretty acceptable. Probably gonna have to draw fairly well, but not extremely well. If this is blue-white, we're going to have to draw pretty well with the hand we have. Blue-white monument, rather. If it's blue-white not monument, we probably don't have to draw that well. If it's blue-white monument, or if it's blue-white control, we're probably pert good. Rip. He didn't play anything, so. And he pressed F6, I think. Nope, no F6. I'm wrong. Oh, Ray's just wrong. Won't be the first time, boys. What's up, Corey? I was enjoying watching that scape shift stuff till it was gone. Well, immolating glare gonna get us. He ticks it up and prevents damage from that. That's pretty good. Well, let's start with cycling one of these, I guess. Nope. Well, that card doesn't seem like it's going to do much in this match. Probably going to need a lot to beat that. Still think should be hexproof or something. And a Dovin? So we get to kill whichever one we want, I guess? Can't kill them both, unfortunately. Could kill this or could kill this. This doesn't do anything, so I think it's better to kill this. My hand's also not particularly good, so it's probably better to just go ahead and cycle my hand. I don't want to land, I don't want to unsummon, so. Deal 3 damage to escalate 2. So. Choose target player to discard his cards and draw that many, that'll be us. Choose him to take 3 damage. Go ahead and always yield to those triggers. Yes. 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 Well, those cards are better than what we had, so that's fine. Oh, it's taking a long time to let's go through these steps. I will be No on Dovenbon. Yes on Gideon. F6, kill Gideon. And I'm going to go ahead and shock the Dovenbon as well. Which kind of sucks for me because I'll have less things to do there, but I think it's better just to prevent it. Prevent it while we can. Seems good. The riddle forms themselves provide some amount of value. If he's just got a big planeswalker, we can kill it. Oh. Well, that's kind of a good draw. Hopefully he doesn't have too many ways to kill our stuff. He's got 5 cards in hand there, 1 though. I don't like our odds this game. Absolutely love this Steelheart song. So now he's in Gearhulk territory. Luckily he's not drawn any extra cards. Alright, well that's sweet. Well. Alright then. Choose target creature. What's this thing say? So I'll do 2 damage to this, 2 damage to him. So he has nothing. We do a fairly decent chunk of damage here. He's probably going to have another Immolating Glare or Blessed Alliance though. Alright, well he didn't. So between this, and this, like a Gearhulk's not great here. Oh. Let's just go back to the well. And we sure. I'm going to go ahead and cast this just to do damage to him, because if his plan is just Gearhulk into Immolating Glare, this is still lethal. So this play beats a Gearhulk. If we beat a Dovenbon, a Gideon, a removal spell, and a Gearhulk, and a cast out, that gives me a lot of hope about this deck. I had to cycle that, wow. Sure, we'll make it bigger again. So hopefully he doesn't have a Blessed Alliance or 2 removal spells of any kind. Yeah, like if he untapped and played a Fumigate, we'd have even a Walking, or even a Wandering Fumarole. So no Blessed Alliance, please. Alright, well he's only got 2 mana left, so I can't think of a card that saves him. Technically Blessed Alliance will put him at 1 still, but I don't know what he would draw to win while being at 1. Well, Alright, the spells are probably good in this match. This is the first time we've played versus the Agras. We definitely don't want the unsummons. The negates are probably good in this match. I'm going to... pretty sure this is good in this match. He's got like 6 casting cost spells, and then we can just like play it. And we can use its flashback ability to like re-counterspell things, and these kill Gearhulks, but we didn't see Gearhulks? In general, I think the Crash Froos are pretty weak. And in general, I think probably the Incendiary Flows are average, but they cost a lot of mana. This card's probably not good, so let's cut one of those and one of those. This deck seems beatable, but like I assumed we'd have to either have like a turn 2 threat or a Favored Visions for it to be beatable. We didn't have either of those that game, so that's kind of cool. It's actually pretty happy. He mulliganed, we obviously keep. We need to draw some more lands, but we have 2 draw steps to do it. Preferably we don't draw one of our 6 come into play tap lands, but whatever. He mulliganed to the bottom, which is always a generally good sign in my eyes anyway. Lead with the mountain to hold up the shock, even though I can't imagine the shock would ever matter here. Well, they are the cast out build, so there is that. They could just have cast out. Well, there goes the cast out. But we've missed our land on our 2 draws. This is a 23 land deck, so I think we were pretty favored to hit a land. Even if we miss a land, we've got like another turn. We've got a RIDDLEFORM we can try to play that may resolve. Alright, now this is kind of an interesting thing. He's got 2 mana up. Do I just jam RIDDLEFORM or do I just jam Favored Visions? If I played a RIDDLEFORM, I get to play around Censor, and I think it's worth playing around Censor. I won't swear that it's worth playing around Censor, but I think it's fair to play around Censor, especially when he clearly doesn't have that great of a draw. And if he like censors something or counterspells something on the following turn, we'll still have at least one backup Riddlestorm. At least one. Alright, sure. That card was on our radar. Hopefully this is just like a Dovin tick down or something. Kefnet, alright. That kind of makes me not want to play the Favored Visions ever, so... let's see if we can draw a land for the Chandra. Well, that's not a land for the Chandra, and we're mana screwed, so... let's just walk straight into Kefnet and have some fun. Yes. This game could go very bad very quickly because of that Kefnet. If I'd hit a land drop, there's about 0 chance I would have played into this. Let's say there's literally next to 0 chance I would have played into that. So if he ticks up, this'll die. If he ticks down, this'll die. With the things we can do in our hand, if we choose to. I think it's worth killing this thing. Even if it is really crumb for our lands. It may not be worth it. I'm just gonna play another Favored Visions. Feel like that gives us our best chance to win. We can kill the Dovin with the shock at any point. Him ticking it up doesn't do anything. And we really need lands, but apparently we're not allowed lands. He's got to be able to cast multiple things right now not to die, or not to take a lot of pain. Really needed the lands. They have a lot of damage in their hand, though. They like have 11 and just burn. Hieroglyphics. Alright, well, he's doing a lot of cycling and stuff, so. Alright, well, one of these is going to kill a Dovin. Why, yes. Yes, we'll kill a Dovin. Yes, we'll pound the face. Come on, lands. Why you do this, lands? Oh. I guess we'll start by just shocking his face. And see what happens. Do I want to use the RIDDLEFORM's ability? Not particularly, when he can just bounce. This costs 4 mana, so he can't just bounce to his hand. So I guess we'll use it. Alright, we'll attack into whatever spell he has. He had no spell. Then we'll play this thing. And we'll draw a bunch of cards and be sad that again we don't have lands. Probably have lands at some point now, though. Supreme Will to tutor. These favored visions are going to do just an absurd amount of work right now. I'm going to discard the one that costs 4 mana. Actually, I'm going to discard the Soul Scour Mage. I can't imagine ever wanting the Scour Mage. These cards here can probably just kill him before he can kill me. I probably don't even have to cast more spells. But I guess we'll see. So I guess I can just Incendiary Flow his face, play around the Supreme Will. Go ahead and make the RIDDLEFORM a dude. Don't know if I'll attack with it, but... well. I'm definitely not going to attack with it, I don't think. And by not going to attack with it, I mean I am 110% attacking with it. Not. Just not attacking with it. Don't care. Assume he was going to play a Gearhulk here, which is why we kept up to our braid. I didn't want to let him get value out of one of his spells. So he's Blessed Alliancing, so we'll go ahead and destroy target artifact while we can. And he's going to get another turn, but his turns ain't getting him real far. Nah, don't want to use RIDDLEFORM's ability again. It's really hard for him to beat both of these. I'm not sure how he's going to. Well, we kind of have lands now. Kind of. Has 8 lands. Cash out on one of those? Okay, that does something. That very much does something. Untapped Mountain. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted, to be honest. So we'll go ahead and escalate this thing. We'll deal damage to this and him. We'll have multiple blockers. I assume he'll have one counter spell. Or multiple attackers, and I'm going to assume he has one counter spell. Rephrase what I meant to say. But this won't even be able to block if he saves it. If he has Supreme Will, he's going to need an unsummon or something on top of that. Yes, this guy's going to become a creature. Well. Let's see what opponent does. So he goes down to 2? Well then, let's try to kill this thing off, I guess. If he saves his thing, he's dead on board, probably. If he doesn't save his thing, he's probably dead. But anyway, I think getting this off the table is better. Even if he has Blessed Alliance. So if he has Blessed Alliance here, I lose this and he goes to, well, he can't have Blessed, he can't have the escalated blessings now. So he's got to deal with both of them? Alright, well. Favored Visions makes control matches comical, even when we don't hit lands. Anybody in here? This guy's in here every night. I still think he's a bot. Every night. Howdy, Ace. Favored Visions, hype. So just me, or is Dave's stream still on? Like, I can hear music and I can hear Dave and I can see. I can like see where he normally sits. I think he's asleep. Sounds like he's snoring. Ooh, 3-1. See if we can stop this guy from being super happy. This hand seems incredibly weak, but I'm going to keep it. This thing could be anything, even a boat. Oh, I guess I'll play this then. You never know how many 1,000 damage this will do. Cycle? I don't think this is the type of hand that will beat them if they're playing this control deck. But maybe it will if they're not playing the control deck. Like if it's just a mirror and they have a poor draw, maybe we have a chance. Like definitely don't want to draw all of these spells versus, you know, if this isn't a mirror. Well, yeah. These cards are next to mulligans versus him, I think. He still has 5 cards in hand. I have nothing to pressure with on the following turn. Yeah, I don't think this game's going to go well. Well, he's missing a land, but that just means his hand's loaded with goodies. Alright, well, these cards don't do anything else here, so let's go ahead and try to get us 3. There's no reason to play into the center. My cards don't do anything anyway. Alright, well. He doesn't ever cast anything, boys. We got this. There's almost no chance that this Fumarol's not coming to Party Town next turn. Haven't decided whether it's doing 1 or 4 yet, but there's very, very little chance that this isn't going to the red zone. Very little chance that it's not going to the red zone. Yeah, this is definitely going to the red zone. Like, he's not killed this on any turn. He's just let it do 4 damage to him or 5. Guess I just do my 2? Alright, well, if he's doing that, I guess I'll let him get me. If he's got a second removal spell that he's not used versus this mage all this time, then he's just got us. Alright, well, he's just got us. He hadn't played one in all that time, so... I put 0 value on my Wandering Fumarole too, so I don't even care that happened. Or repeat the same attack on the following turn, if given the opportunity. He's playing a Glimmer, yep. Looking bad, friends. Looking bad. He also put one of them on the top, so it's almost definitely a land. Sure. Well, let's see if he has another removal spell, because the Wandering Fumarole's definitely coming across the table at 4 power. This is the last land I'm probably going to play. I don't care if he kills the thing. He actually let it flip, so it should do 4 to him. Well, that was pretty cool. I guess there's a chance we'll play more lands then. You're at 6, friend. We're doing things. And some amount of stuffs. But mostly we're just doing things. I probably do not attack with the Fumarole again unless he doesn't have 6 mana. Got him a lot lower than I expected to get him this match. Just want to say, I didn't expect this game to be even remotely close. And quite frankly, I'm not sure it's even close yet. I'm just... Well, I guess we're going to Party Town again. Because we can abrade a Gearhulk this time. So if he, like, just gets the Glimmer back or whatever, we can get 4 in. I'm willing just to ting him for 1 to make it to where nothing but Harness Lightning kills this guy. I'm also willing to trade it for his land. Probably not willing to trade it for his land. I'd probably play the Abrade on his land, but... No, I may not. I may just untap and Incendiary Flow him. Wreck me. My back is killing me. Alright, well, we'll just do the 1 this time. You got us. Ah! I dropped my water. There's no reason to flip it over. It's just too high of a chance that he has a removal spell at this point, I think. I'd rather make him cast the Gear Hulk, I guess. If he has it. He's taking a lot of time to go through these phases. He's at 5 when we have an Incendiary Flow in hand. Like, this game's not 100% over even if he has a Gear Hulk. Even if he has, like, 37 cards. Still have reasonable draws. Reasonable. For anybody watching the stream who cares, we submitted our first emote today. At some point, hopefully it'll get approved. It's going to be pretty sweet if it does. Alright. Well, hopefully he decides not to kill this one. I would like to keep attacking for this one. I only have one Abrade in the main deck. Yeah, I only have one Abrade in the main deck. What's he taking? He's taking the Glamour. Sure, Glamour can resolve. Don't want to kill this until afterwards, even though I really just want to press F6. Bottom, top. Oh, I misclicked. What? I did not misclick that. I 110% did not misclick that. Even made sure to highlight it before I clicked it. Alright. Wonder how much of a difference it's going to make. Because that's pretty savage. I'm going to be pretty annoyed about that if that costs us this game at all. Assuming it doesn't matter, but certainly would have had more turns. Pretty tilted. Well, at least that's not a Gear Hulk. I am pretty tilted about that. We've had a lot more turns too. Well, I guess we have to try to block. Play a land, so maybe we'll have enough to do stuff, and maybe he won't have a counter spell, but practically just dead here. Whatever. Very little chance I was going to lose that game if not for the Moto bug. Tilt. Can't wait to watch the replay, but like it was highlighted on my screen when I clicked it. Don't want done summons. And we'll cut one of the incendiary flows. It's things like that that makes me just kind of like want to log out and not even play. This hand's miserable. I can't mulligan it. The one in the sideboard, I've never drawn it. I have no idea. I have never drawn it. It seems okay. It seems like it's going to do 6 damage at some point, because they almost always have to tap out when they're playing their gear hooks. I think it's worth just slamming this next turn, especially if he uses a removal spell on this turn. Yeah, it's definitely worth it then. Though that card's kind of the play. Alright, no more lands deck. That would be great. That'd just be great deck. You can like not play more lands. This card should have haste. Sideboarding this in versus the deck that's not particularly an aggro deck and definitely has a lot of main deck removal seems interesting. Second Riddleform is going to be huge. It should be enough. So we got going on here. Harness Lightning on this thing. Do I even care about this thing? I guess I care about it. Mainly because if he counterspells it, I can resolve anything I draw on the following turn. Should let me be able to kill this if I draw any other burn, spurn, any collective defiance, etc., etc. The spell's a good draw. So he let that resolve, and then he tapped 2 more mana because I think he was going to Harness Lightning this again. But like, he can't Harness Lightning this now? So he shouldn't have lost game 1. I am confident that I highlighted a braid. I am confident that I did target artifact. I do not think that was a misclick. I think Moto just got me. I don't think I want to change anything. Maybe for Thing and Ice, but I don't think Thing and Ice matters that much. I think just trying to resolve our spells does. Alright, well this hand's not very good on the draw, I don't think, but maybe we have enough good draws early that I think it's fine. Certainly didn't want another land. I assume he's going to counterspell one of the Chandras too. Yeah, if he just plays Thing and Ice, I'm in rough shape since I drew none of our 400 burn spells. How many burn spells do we even have? We have 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, pretty rough shape if... Maybe one of the Chandras will come down in time, but maybe not. We will see. Well, I think it's better to cast a creature. Because I think the favored visions will die anyway. This moderately plays around the sensor. Don't particularly care if the Riddle Storm dies. Or Riddle Form. I like calling it Storm. I don't know why. Alright, so he doesn't have a removal spell, which means everything in his hand has to be some kind of counter spell. So this is going to add up pretty quick. These are pretty good creatures to play in face of that. What's he doing? He's playing a second thing of ice. Okay. So he can play sensors and he can play negates. Or he can play removal spells. Sorry. I'm not digging that song right now. I don't want to get censored. He can negate anything. It might be just better to play this thing. Yeah, I think it's just better to play that thing. Always yield to that. He definitely can't flip both of his fingernails this turn, so... Ooh, and a favored vision's resolved. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal spell. He didn't have one last turn. Well, I guess he's going to cast double magma spray, and that was the worst case scenario for me. Wow. I just got crushed. Just got crushed, boys and girls. Don't know if we can win now. That was really, 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 really good. Huh. Gotta be honest, didn't expect that. Alright, well, gotta do what we gotta do. Try to deal 4 damage to this one because we know this is gonna flip. Do I want to do the Riddle Storm? No. I don't really feel like putting a Riddle Storm back in my hand. Alright. Not sure what I'm supposed to do right now. So he didn't have anything? He has to have something. That's not even reasonable that he has nothing. Alright. Well, you're going to get me, I guess. Cast a second, leave up a negate and a braid. That's a 3-turn clock. That's a 3-turn clock, so... Maybe? He's going to cast a braid on his own thing in the ice, and there's nothing I can do about that. It's just going to flip. Which means I'm going to take 7 damage. Well, this little card right here might steal a game at some point. This is instant, right? Yeah, this is instant. I think I'm going to try to block. Nah, not going to try to block. So he's going to magma spray that. He has to have something else. So I'm at least going to take one more hit. At least going to take one more hit. And I don't have enough mana to do everything I want, so... Alright. I'm just going to cast Chandra. Huh. I'm going to take Chandra up for mana, I guess, and play the Soul Scour. Well, I guess I need the blocker, so... Whoops. I had one more mana and I messed up. And he's got a second counter spell, so... This game's going from bad to worse quickly. Well, the braid didn't resolve even though we tried to protect it. He can't kill us on our following turn, so we have a lot of options that might try to kill him. Chandra's defeat. Alright. We have been defeated by Chandra. So he's going to go to 5, and we have technically 5 points of burn in our hand, but find it hard to imagine that these 5 points of burn are going to resolve. Well, I guess I'll start with a shock to his face and see what happens. Yes, Riddlestorm, you can come over. Alright, well, I have multiple lethal things in play. He's going to Harness Lightning it. There's nothing I can really do about the Harness Lightning. So I think I'm going to die here. Probably. Well, let's see if either of these resolve. I'll start with the one that does 3 damage to him. So the spells don't do anything, he just needs 2 counter spells. 2 counter spells will beat me. And he has a Censor. Well, missing our land drop cost us that game, but we would have won this match if it wasn't for a Moto bug, which is beyond annoying and ridiculous to me. It's beyond annoying and ridiculous to me. Pretty upset. He types GG's when he only won because of a Moto bug. So that's kind of frustrating too. Like, obviously I'm salty because Moto screwed me, and then you're going to type GG's. That's kind of like rubbing it in. Whatever. Happens. Sometimes I die. I don't like how I played that game anyway. I could have played that whole match better. I think this hand's too slow. If I had 2 lands, I'd probably keep it. There's too many decks that this isn't going to beat. Well, Dave turned his stream off finally. We don't get to hear Dave snoring anymore. I think he was snoring. Mulligan. That hand's worse. Alright, I guess we'll keep. Thanks, Moto. Swear to God, Moto's out to get me today. Really? Another land? It's only round 3 and my deck's already aggravated me a lot. Um, Whatever. You know he doesn't have a forest. Are we killing the mage? Rip. Well, but he draws out of it before I draw anything that's useful. La 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 la. It's your draw phase. What are you doing with the mana? You cycling something? Oh, no, you're just putting a mana in your pool. Alright. Any burn spell cuts him off a color at least. He said no. Alright, well, I guess I'll hold that burn spell. It might do something in a minute. Hey, he hit something. Yep, I don't really want this mage, so discard all my cards. I deal 4 damage. I deal 3 damage. It's just way too late for a mage to matter. Huh? Keep calling it a mage, but it's not even a mage. Oh, it is a mage. This is a human wizard. This guy's a human wizard that flies. I think all human wizards should fly. Nissa. Well, I can't really deal with that. Go ahead and play this in case I have to cast multiple spells next turn. Can't imagine how I'm supposed to win this game. Alright. Never mind. I've found ways I can win this game. Our opponent's playing some odd cards. Is he willing to trade? I will trade for a tracker if given the opportunity. So, need some kind of burn spell since we have been getting literal crushed by Nissa? And that spell does nothing. I guess we can leave a blocker back. Not that our blocker will survive. The flood is real, friends. So Moto bugs and cost me a match, and then I didn't even get to play the next match. That's kind of fun. That's game. His deck seems like it's going to be hard for this deck to beat. I guess I have to have him in the gates. He shows Planeswalkers and Furies. Yeah, a lot of those things had high casting costs. Unsummons don't seem great. Crash Throughs never seem great. Guess Unsummon might be better than Crash Through if he's tapping that much mana. Try this thing too. Alright. Sure, let's rock. Tonight's not going well. Not going well at all. I really want to know if this card's any good. I've sideboarded it in 4 matches now and never drawn one that was castable. It was castable last game, I guess. But the guy only had a Thing of Ice. Maybe I should have killed the first Thing of Ice earlier, but like I felt like I couldn't lose. The Chandra turn might have been wrong last game. This hand's terrible. Haven't thought a whole lot about it. Like, there's not a lot of creatures that I want to kill in the format that like shocks and flows don't kill anyway. There's like Glorybringer, and that's pretty much it. This hand looks too miserable to keep. Don't think you can win with this hand? Yeah, we'll try it. I'm all about trying bad hands. He went to 6. Kept 6. If he mulligans on top, I'll guarantee his hand's better than theirs. He put on bottom, so who knows. Rip. No, just not a whole lot I want to use a lightning axe on. Rip more mountains. That is not the one he showed us. So he still has the cycle one in hand. Still has the cycle end in hand. Servant. Thank you for following Snap S, Warbled Sun, and Nebula. I don't really want this spell here. If I just play this, he can Nissa and kill it, so I guess I'm gonna pass. Try to get some value out of the Brawl's expertise on the following turn. Some value. Some value. Try to get some value. Some value. That word seems weird to me. So still no one of the lands in his hand. That's the land we knew. Could have played it last turn, I guess. He chose not to. I don't think I just want to cast a Chandra and minus it. Don't really want to cast a Chandra and tick it up and die to Glorybringer, so. We'll just sit back and pretend we're a blue-red control deck when he knows we're not. Well, that card doesn't really do anything. So he's just not going to play anything ever? Just casting Chandra seems so bad because he can just play Nissa and kill Chandra. Well, he didn't kill the mage. He'd even pressed F6, so. What's he gonna cast? Needs to play something, or we're just SOL and we're gonna have to cast into the potential Nissa. So that's a Glorybringer. I guess we'll go ahead and do some damage to him. Makes this guy big enough to block too, if that matters at all. But he's going to exert. He exerted and he didn't attack. Odd. Oh, he's got another thing? Sure. Well, what are we getting wrecked by? I don't know what you are. Okay, I guess I'm actually going to put this in his hand because it makes him waste mana. Even though it kind of seems pretty counterintuitive to do. Play this in case we hit something that we can play with the Chandra. Like another Incendiary Flow or something. Go ahead and do that damage to him. Pretty bad shape though. Short of Nissa, he shouldn't be able to kill the Chandra. Oh, never mind. He sideboarded in Chandra's defeat. Alright, you got me, pal. And his own Chandra. Well, things are going from bad to worse. Whoops. Misclicked on that. No, because if I do, I can't win. I can't really win anyway. Not sure how I'm supposed to win this game. Just didn't do anything either game. Maybe he'll cast an instant or a sorcery spell and I can copy it. Maybe he'll play as Hazoret Undying. That'd be kind of cool. Alright, well that's a Glory Bringer. Which does about half my life and gives me some backdoor draws to kill him, I guess. Now he's going to leave it on defense. If you're going to leave it on defense, you should have just played all your 2/2s. If you were going to leave it on defense, you should have just played all your 2/2s. Still don't have any outs. Don't have any outs at all. There's nothing I have that can deal 4 damage. I guess I could draw my 1 insult to injury. My 1 insult to injury could win the game from here. You could play as Hazoret thingy. But he should just play a bunch of 2/2s like he should have played last turn. Definitely what he should have did. What is this? A wildfire? Yep. Alright. Well, that doesn't do anything, and I'm dead. I'm not technically dead. Maybe he'll cast something with his Wildfire Eternal that lets me win. Can't imagine that anything's going to happen here except for me die since he can Chandra ulti, but seen crazier things happen. Definitely seen crazier things happen. Sure. Well, he definitely has 2 things he can just cast. That's a Glory Bringer. So, friends, we're dead. I can cast a Wirefire Eternal. And what's he going to play? Oh, he did play this. Can't think of any way to win, but I can play this thing, right? Whee! Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I know. We got close. Almost got there. That was kind of cool. We did get close. That entertained me. Man, imagine if we did it. That'd have been sweet. What do we get here? One more card and we'd have got there. Well, we got absolutely wrecked that match. We won our first round pretty easy and should have won our second round pretty easy, but we got moto bugged. Wonder if I missed any points of damage in that game. It's completely reasonable that I missed points of damage in that game, and I played around this just way too long. There's a very high chance that I just played around this way too long. Thank you for following PBB Anderhorse something. People should like talking stuff, you know, like talking chat, so I'm not bored sitting here. It's your guys' job to entertain me. Why would you not want to entertain me? So let's join the queue. Play first. I thought somebody talked after I said that and it was just this damn bot teasing me. Fuck you, bot. Okay. Well, we got kind of an aggressive draw in our not super aggressive deck. Rip. Cool, he F6. No fatal push. Oh. I wasn't casting a spell next turn is the reason I did it like that. Oh, we got some good chunk damage in there. Lightly played C for 225, yay or nay? I think that's a pretty good deal. Alright, so what do you do again? Get +1/+1. Okay. Well. Go ahead and play this thing. Play this thing. I'm going to target this thing so it doesn't block very well. I would pay $250 to finish my playset, or $225 to finish my playset on a C. If you think it's a trustable seller and all that. Make sure we don't get censored. Go ahead and press F6. And attack for like a lot. Yeah, so he's going to flash this in, block this, and go to 1 and be alive. I have 4 lethal attackers on the following turn. That's kind of cool. He's playing this thing in a deck. Oh, never mind. That's a lot less cool. I thought it was a different one. Opponent was playing some kind of brew. I didn't really see anything but some weird creatures, so pretty good to go with just what we have. Thumbs up from John. Hell, you might be able to buy list on the Star City for that. What's Star City's buy list? Sorry, stream. I'm giving financial advice to somebody. Star City pays more. Well, you said slightly played. Star City pays more for them for that. Like you can sell it to Star City and make a $25 profit. So that's definitely a buy. I think this hand's fine. We're on to play and we have one cycle. Land? Land. We have 2 riddles, so I'm just going to play riddle over the next couple of turns, so I think it's very fine to play the riddle. Oh, we got censored. Rip. No land? Well, since we don't have riddle this time, I'm going to play this guy. Rip. No, I think that sounded like a steal. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, that thing does things. Come on, deck. Guess we'll go ahead and cycle that. Go ahead and play this into potential doom. I don't know. Makes him do stuff which lowers his mana for the following turn. Alright. Where things died. We're much sad. Just playing this one because, quite frankly, I don't have enough cards. Need lands. More lands. More and more lands. I have plenty of removal spells to kill whatever he plays anyway. You could have a counterspell for the first collective, but that's fine. I'm actually going to play this so that we can't get censored at least. Not going to bother making it bigger. Or not going to bother doing damage to his face, I mean. We kiss, we make up. Thank you, I need it. Twitch is life, man. You can't worry about things like that. You just gotta roll with the flow. Uh-oh. It's getting real. Be honest, this is going to be hard to beat this deck. We just got way too slow of a start. I don't know if we can beat this deck from here. Unless he just like doesn't draw cyclers, which seems about 0 points of probability. Oh, a second Drake Haven. Great. I guess we'll start with that. Well, I make you big. Nah. I'll make you big. Nah. Alright, well, to the face. Playing this really weird race that I can't win, but I'll bring in Swelders for the next game. Can't imagine not having years to find them. I was thinking awfully hard about a lot of these things. Radio. Is he gonna do counterspell this one? Alright, he's gonna counterspell this one. Yes. Yes. Attack. Just use our mana as efficiently as possible. Alright, he's got a land in his graveyard, so that does something. Really needed an untapped land. Pretty bad for me that I don't have one. Probably fine to play this guy first. Because he doesn't have a lot of mana. Seems like he pressed F6. Sure. Now cycle, make some 4/4s. That's not good for me. Or make some 2/2s rather. I guess I'm just dead? Not just dead. It's pretty bad for me though. So he can technically attack for 9, but if he double blocks, he's losing one of his guys, so I don't have to worry about the attack for 9. And I can block one of his guys on the ground with this. Second Collective Defiance is pretty good. It's just 6 damage to the face. Alright, well. 4 Yamatizi Expertise, sure. That's a big massive thing in play, and he shouldn't have enough cards to handle everything. Go ahead and play that. Escalate. This and this. Sure. Go ahead and attack, make him tap some of his manas to play the Drake Havens. Oh, never mind. Not tapping mana for the Drake Havens. Well, if he counterspells this, he's just dead. Or not dead, but if he counterspells this, I don't die, is what I'm trying to say. Well, if he cycles into a counterspell, he's got me. Well, I guess his counterspells cost 3 mana, don't they? And 2 mana. It's pretty far behind. What happened here? Obtrusionist. Obtrusionist seems like a pretty sweet addition to his deck. Doesn't do anything there, but it's kind of cool. Well, we're trying to play to get our money back because Moto bugs suck. And none of you people are talking still. How mad do I have to be? Where's Sam at when I just want to log out and want somebody to host? Thank you for following Korf and Golifing50. I'm just gonna sit here and be lonely, talk to myself. I wish I knew how to let you guys hear my music. At least you could listen to, currently listening to Lady Gaga. That sounds fine. It's obviously not great, but I don't think I can mulligan it. Oh, wrecked. This is the first time I've got paired versus what may be a Millstone deck. This may just be an enabler for, like, shenanigans as well. I guess we'll see soon which it is. I like the fact that he played Efferhub. Oh, so he's targeting me, so I do believe it is the mill deck. We have a pretty poor draw to play against the mill deck, considering we can't even cast our spells. Rip. Go ahead and cycle one of these, because we really need to draw the lands. If he plays Freeing, I'm probably dead. Well, he didn't play another land. Probably not dead if he's not playing another land. We'll go ahead and play this thing in our land, and on next turn I can play like a Storm Chaser and a Crash Through. Or I can play double Storm Chaser if I feel like I need to. Well. Probably dead. Way too slow of a draw. I guess we'll see. I'm just going to play both of these and start dealing damage. Can't think of many things that would let us win here, though. Like, if he has land Startled Awake, we're wrecked. Sup, Al? How you been doing, man? Well, it's not Startled Awake, at least. Small miracles? Question mark. I think it's pretty hard to win now. So, Startled Awake's worth 26, I think? So, it would be 26 plus my draw step, 27. So, if I play this, I'm technically dead? If he has it? Well, if he doesn't have it, what happens? These attack for 4, he'll down to 14 on the following turn. Like he's still just alive. There's not a lot I can do. I have to just play into it. Wait, it's 52? Oh yeah, because he's got the double flaying. Sorry, you're right. There's a double flaying. It's only 26 with one flaying, right? It's a good thing that I incorrectly decided not to play around it regardless. He's got to hit the land, though. Well, he hit the land. Rip. Obviously. He didn't have the land, though. I think his deck has instants in it. We know it has things I can use these on. Get rid of those things. Get rid of the braid. That all seems slow. What about this? That doesn't seem good enough. Chandra seems slow too. Just have to get a faster draw. I feel like this is one of those matches that should be unlosable, but I mean, you saw the draw we had. Oh, we have to mulligan. We have one land. We have no creatures. How do you win with no creatures? Sure, I'll put Chandra on top. I have nothing else. I played a build with 3 of them main, and they just underperformed over and over and over. Like when I'm drawing my creatures, I feel like I win with any of my spells. Problem is, I don't draw my creatures all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that thing. I don't think the 3 damage to his face merits anything. That thing's potentially 6 cards more if he has a fraying. Oh, he just cycled it. I was gonna say, I thought that card did something else. Well, he doesn't have a land. I'm not going to play the Chandra because he could still just draw a land or he could have a negate or anything. I'd rather just get damage on the table. We just played them and they didn't do a whole lot. I tried the Archer and it didn't do much. The bigger the Chandras, the bigger build and the Chandras have just did so much more. This was the first build we tested. They had 3 insult to injuries. It had the firebrands. It just didn't seem like it did a whole lot. And now I'm on this build. You can type !decklist too and get this build. This is the build from SCG. Seems pretty good, except the unsummons have been real bad. I probably need to cut the unsummons for something. Supreme Will to find a card. I guess. I don't care if you have a card. You already played a land that turn, so I'm not really sure why you did it main phase. So I'm going to let him resolve his thing. I think we'll be fine as long as we, as long as he doesn't have multiple startled or multiple of the fraying, I assume we're fine. Does Chandra has some percentage chance to ultimate? That's some pretty slow draws. My back is wrecking me. Worm coil. Need to break out your magic cards. Come to Kentucky so I can beat on them. He got 41st, and there was a build that got, I think, top 4 at the Classic that was very similar. Just a few cards different. Whatever. This does enough damage that I think it's worth it. Go ahead and pump this up. Alright, well, I'm not going to hold up the negate. I'm just going to do damage to him. And get him down to 1, so he's got to deal with the Chandra, the Wandering Fumarole, the Storm Chaser Mage, and or Mill Me for 34. But the build I'm playing now is 1 card. It's the 74 cards of the guy who got 40 first. There was a guy in the top 8 of the Open that had something pretty similar. Top 8 of the Classic as well. I can pull up the 2 deck lists for you. Classic, Open. The one guy got 40 first, so that's probably about page 5. Nope, that's page 6. I was close. This is his build. I actually only cut the 1 Chandra for budgetary concerns. The Chandras have constantly overperformed. And this is the build that is very similar to that got top 8 in the Classic. The one that got top 8 in the Classic has insults, but it didn't have Collective Defiance, and Collective Defiance have been one of the best cards in the deck. Anyway, so throw that back up. Chandra doesn't seem great on the draw again. Everything else seemed about the same as we expected, so just go ahead and submit. Oh, our opponent said good luck, and I didn't even notice. I'm such a butthole. Oh, never mind. He just didn't type it. This hand's not great. I have no way to do a consistent amount of damage. I have no creature. I have no counterspell. So I think we're going to mulligan it, even though I would keep this hand versus 90% of decks. I just don't think I can durdle around versus him. This hand's bad, but better, I think. Do I want this? No, I don't really want that. I want to draw lands. So we have no lands, and we're still not fast, but I don't think I can go to 5 when I have a spell and, like, removal and stuff. So, this is a little saddening. Just deck doesn't have enough creatures is one of its biggest weaknesses. So far I've been bringing it in versus any of the big mana decks. I've been bringing it in versus Ramp. I've been bringing it in versus all the blue Gearhulk decks. I've brought it in versus like the bigger teamer decks that are going up to like the big Chandras and the Glorybringers and stuff, because it's pretty easy to get those decks at a moderately low life total, but it's really hard to just finish those decks off. So that's what I've been trying to do in that regard. Well, I guess that was about the best draw I can get. That might already be too late. We've only cast it once. I've only ever drawn it once, even though I've sideboarded it in a bunch. It would have been good in a lot of different places, but just never did have it when it was good. Rip. Yeah, I forgot to attack. I missed 2 points of damage. Sorry, I was talking and being stupid. Yep, that was a pretty bad mistake. I'm not a very good streamer. Hopefully it doesn't matter, but it probably will because I'm not very good at this game. I've been a little bit on tilt a while ago too, since I lost to a Moto Bug in a match. So if he doesn't have a second Sentry, we're probably still fine. Or sorry, a second Startled. If he has a second Startled, we just lose. But besides drawing a negate, there was literally nothing in our deck that beats a second Startled, so Put the top 5 cards in my library, so that puts me down to 12. I can beat a second one of that card. Yeah, so fortunately the 2 points of damage aren't going to matter. So you got here. And we have a Dispel. And then the Collective Defiance should seal it up. I don't think we're milled. Is that every graveyard or just my graveyard? Yeah, so we're fine then. Just 6 went to the graveyard. Definitely forgot to attack though. I'm glad that it didn't matter a whole lot. 3 damage to target opponent. Well, we get to open a pity chest. Pity chest. Well, the problem is the 1-drop creatures in this format aren't particularly good unless you're overloading decks and making things unblockable. So, like, even if this deck had, like, a bunch of Falcon Rafts and stuff in it, it doesn't really have, like, you need the Earth Shakers and stuff to make those good. What I actually think the deck needs, and this is probably wrong, but, like if I was tuning this deck, I would probably cut all of these creatures, all of these Crash Shrews, and all of these Unsummons, and make it look much similar to just a blue-red spells deck. Because, like, when you draw these cards in this first row, the Firmo Alchemists and the Fieries don't seem good, or the Archers don't seem good, and then when you have the draws where you draw the Archers, it just seems like the deck's trying to do 2 different things. So I would like to get rid of all of this stuff and just make the deck focused on one particular thing. I still think Storm Chaser Mage is good enough, and I think Riddleform is good enough to play an outer build of the deck, but, like, the deck's not aggressive enough, and it's not controlling enough. Either one, it seems like it fails just a little bit at both. Anyway, let's open the chest and see what our $2.30 bought us. It bought us this card that has to be worth nothing. Yeah, I can't imagine that card being worth anything. Anyway, don't really want to log out, so let's run it back. I am not confident enough to play this deck in competitive leagues because I believe this deck has some clear problems. But I want to keep testing it. I should cut some cards. I should have cut Unsummons before I joined and put literally anything in over them. These Unsummons have been incredibly bad. They've never been useful. Which is one of the problems with the first build I tried. The first build I had the 4 Unsummons, which you'd think is kind of cool, but it just isn't cool. The first build was more aggressive, but, like, it only has the 12 creatures, so you would all the time just draw things like Consuming Fever, Fever. I don't know. You'd keep drawing Consuming and they wouldn't do anything. I would cut the Unsummons. Definitely cut the Unsummons. Besides cutting the Unsummons, I would get rid of some of these, like, Crash Shrews and some of these Mages, and just get, like, the Firmo Alchemist patch and some more burn in the deck and make it more like the blue-red spells decks of Ode. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, so they come out last year a little bit, but, like, well, that's not what I'm talking about at all. So my Google search failed pretty badly, but basically Firmo Alchemist good. We'll play first. The deck's kind of strong though. Like, when you get the good draws, the deck's good. Like this hand's going to be good. Well, I mean, you can play Firebrand instead, but I'm just talking about you want that effect. You want that effect. The Archer. I don't know what I said. I think it's Archer, right? What is it called? Yeah, the Archer. You want that effect. If you're playing the spells package anyway. Go ahead and play the riddle form here because I'd rather resolve it than the other threat. For some reason it's not letting me. This is a pretty good draw though. He showed us one island so far. Oh, he's playing the Cycle deck. Those decks are pretty sweet. I have not. I don't even know what that card is. I have never heard of that card. I don't really know what his deck's doing, and he missed a land drop, so I'm going to go ahead and be safe and counterspell that, even though it's probably not needed. He might be playing the Marionette combo, and if he's playing the Marionette combo, I don't really want to let him mill. Of course, if he is playing that deck, I don't think he beats our draw either way. Could just be playing the Hollow Man stuff as well. RIDDLEFORM's been surprisingly good, by the way. Like, I've won a number of games where like it just didn't do anything and I got to cycle every turn, and that was pretty sweet. So I have literally no idea what my opponent's playing yet. He just showed us a bunch of little cycly things. Since he showed us a bunch of little cycly things, a lot of them had high mana cost. Like, this is considerable. I'll try a couple of these. Nah, that's probably not right. If he's playing Hollow Man or whatever, or if he's even playing the Marionette, it's probably better just to keep on going like he is. Don't know what he's playing, so I'm going to be very conservative when I sideboard. Alright, let's see. Card. Spell Weaver Eternal. What are you, friend? 2 mana, 2/1 Prowess. Afflict 2. I don't think I want anything that's on. I don't think I want anything that's ground based. The only reason I play this at all is because of the cards below Prowess, or the words below Prowess. This guy rarely deals damage. He just lets me kill things forever. So Neonate. I have 3 drops I want to play, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and just not get the mage in play early. Oh shoot, I gotta put this little donator thingy up. Can't wait till this month's over so I can quit typing that. Be interesting to see exactly what our opponent's playing. What are you? Combat. Okay, so you're playing that build of the deck. That build's kind of cool. I think it's worth killing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and play this thing. So if he's playing this, it's the God's Pharaoh build. The attacks are like a good amount of damage. It's probably pretty hard for him to do that with 3 cards in hand though, so the mulligan's probably going to hurt him pretty bad. Could have saved the gate, but that card's kind of going to be kind of cool if he is playing that deck. Always yield. Always yield, but you don't want to click always yes because there's a lot of times that you're not going to use it. Grab the mana. Yeah, Chandra's just been great. Our opponent's not really doing anything, but in general, Chandra's just been great. Oh, about to attack my water, or about to knock my water off the table. That would have sucked. Cycle Archfiend. That card's kind of cool. I saw this in a blue-black zombies sideboard. He seemed to like it a pretty good amount. Alright, now he's starting to get going. He's got 2 Celebrants in his graveyard. Let's save the Neonate back to prevent damage this time. I don't have any 5-drops, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick this up, see what we hit. Miley Cyrus on the radio. Oh yeah. Actually not going to bother to cast the Favored Visions. I'm going to hold up the Unsummon. So he's down to 5. Don't think he can win when we have an Unsummon back. Three, there's the gate. This is the God Pharaoh's gift. And the God Pharaoh's gift gets back a Celebrant. Yep. Make fun of MVP a ton, draw MVP. Or make fun of Unsummon a ton. But then again, this could have been a shock or any instant speed removal spell. Well, I guess it couldn't have been a shock, but could have been a lot of things. Nope. Guess it couldn't have been shock. I apologize. Well, we can beat the funny little combo decks when they don't draw particularly well. RIDDLEFORM. I like the art on that card. I found a Japanese foil of this card in my bulk. I had no idea what it did till I saw the Star City stuff. Well, 4-1 in matches that didn't involve a Moto bug. Should be 5-1, but we're into friendly leagues and we're playing versus some jankier decks, so grain of salt on that kind of standing. Not that that deck's janky or anything, but you know what I mean. We're not getting paired versus the mono reds and the blue white monuments. I guess I should throw up the deck list. That's not the right deck list. This is. Thank you for following Golf Vingy 50. Are you the guy that just followed with a different number? Chorf and Mr. Lampe 77. I feel like I'm getting hit by bots tonight. Some of these people may be real, but I don't think all of these people are real. Let's see, Feline still streaming, Phone Microwave still streaming. Is he streaming anything cool? He's streaming Limited. Who wants to watch Limited? The answer to that question is a lot of people, by the way, just not me. Oh, for anybody who cares, since I guess there's new people here, if you look down below, there's a link to my Twitter, and on my Twitter, I post all the deck lists I play, and every time I go live. Also on my Twitter, you'll see me argue and comment on tons of things because I like to argue and comment on tons of things. I'm kind of a prick. Also on my Twitter, there's a link to my YouTube where I post all of these videos, but unfortunately they're all 24 hours delayed because of this little Twitch sub button up here. I have to agree to not post things for 24 hours. I think this hand's a keep. We have a couple removal spells, and we have a potential turn 3 favored visions, and we're on the play. On the draw, I would have considered mulliganing this. Definitely just cycling this. We hit the fevered visions. Fevered visions, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling it fevered. It aggravates the piss out of people at my local store. Probably the reason I do it. Because again, kind of a prick. It's the second opponent tonight that's kept an Effort Hub and didn't have an Attune. There's only 5 islands in the deck, so we definitely didn't want to draw the island. But that's fine. This is going to be a very hard deck to beat, especially if the current land issues we have. We didn't get anything going. Especially if he just has like another land here and can play a Bristling Hydra, I probably can't race it. If he plays something other than a Bristling Hydra, we can maybe race it. Oh lord, we didn't expect that. Man, I can't kill it yet. So yeah. Rip. Let it die, please? No, didn't let it die. Alright, well, I guess we have to kill it. It's too much damage not to kill it. The third Chandra. We cut one Chandra from the original deck list for budgetary concerns, considering I'm poor country folk, couldn't afford it. At least if he casts a Glorybringer here, he won't have any mana. Ah, stop it, man. Quit playing those cards. They're good. We need you just to be simple and mana screwed, but no. If I draw an untapped land, I may play the Chandra and tick up. And use the Collective Brutality without putting damage to his face. I may not to. Blossoming Defense. Wrecked. Got me pretty good. So I'm at 6. That means I die to just so many things. Well, I don't have a choice. Have to kill this thing because I'm dead on board if I don't. To be honest, I got closer than I thought we'd get with this draw. When we saw, his plays. So he drew the untapped red source for the Glorybringer? Or does he just have another Hylian? Third Hylian. Alright, we dead. The problem with using the Chandra in that spot is I'm doing no damage to his face, and the Servant can just keep pecking at me, and my life total is getting so low that any spell is going to kill me. Like, I need to be able to end the game in the next 2 or 3 turns. Like, the Chandra doesn't really do that. Like, I'm not going to win that game if it goes like 6 turns or something. Don't think I really want to sideboard anything here. Showed us a bunch of Hylians. I'm not sure if I want these. Not sure if I want these. Thinking about this, he could have Glory Bringers, but he technically didn't show us any spell that only has 3 mana. I don't think the unsummons are particularly good, though. I kind of just don't want the unsummons in the deck. Kind of like the idea of this card. Well, I don't really like these crash throughs at all. Let's try this. Mainly because I don't like the crash throughs. I don't really even want the crash throughs in the deck, so let's just try this. So play first. Hand is very good for what our deck does anyway. This hand's pretty good for this deck. Alright, let's go on the tune. Picked up an island with the tune. Oh, my back is wrecking me tonight for some reason. Well, we did First Blood. If we were Rainbow, we'd be. Or if we were Rambo, we'd have just won. Interesting. No spell. Well, I guess start with this thing, just to see if we cantrip into something I need to play this turn. Thank you for following Mazar007 and Eric Hongwei. I apologize when I butchered the crap out of your name. Well, we can play a Chandra. Chandra. We can play all the Chandra. Voltaic Brawler? Sure. Go ahead and cast Shock on it and hope he doesn't have a Dispel. Nice, no Dispel. So we get to play a Chandra. Rip. These draws are not particularly working out. Would love to cast that card. Would have loved to cast that card. Come back to us, Mr. Chaser Mage. What we got going on here? 5 mana for a Bristling Hydra. Well, goodbye, Chandra. We'll miss you. Well, up we go. I think that's worth playing. I think that'll do enough damage that I notice Chandra's dying here, but I still think it's worth it. Also kind of think it's worth it to go ahead and put the flow on him while he doesn't have negate mana up. So it puts him down to 8 and he's got to deal with this. Or 7, sorry. We got double prowess that turn. Forgot we played divisions as well. The unsummon could do something. Actually kind of makes me wish that I hadn't threw the flow out. That way I could have played around some kind of random removal spell. That's a Bringer of Glory. It's our favorite thing to be brought. Untap land would be a nice draw. So if it's an untapped land, we can attack for 4 and bounce this while he doesn't have energy. Well, that's not an untapped land, but it's kind of good. Go ahead and put that in his hand while we can. Kill his things, put him at 2. Wish I had an untapped land so I could see. And play another land, I guess. Well, so he has to kill the favored visions or gain life, and then see what happens after there. Get to clear his whole board. Gives us just tons and tons of time versus an opponent versus 2. So I'm not sure I'm worried about attacking with the Fumarole. Feel like he can't even recast a Glorybringer that turn unless he has Natural State, which isn't a spell you see in a lot of decks. I didn't ever really want this card in my hand at any point that game. That card wouldn't have did anything. Those cards wouldn't have did anything. Maybe the Brawl's Expertise. Brawl's Expertise seems like he could do some things, but he's got just so many tramplers. Let's just run it back. Basically, we're just begging to not see Bristling Hydras. No Bristling Hydrarini, please. Oh, well, I lied. Apparently, we're hoping to see no Bristling Hydras, and we're hoping to see lands. Thank you for following the X small XX RCK. Yeah. Just believe you guys are bots. I'm sorry. There's no human watching me. Well, this hand's pretty miserable, but I don't think I can mulligan it. I don't really want that land. If this hand's slow enough, maybe this does something. Ah! What did I do? My music turned off. Why did my music turn off? Huh. Sorry if I got real loud there. Kind of like was fat and hit my mic. Well, I can technically kill that. I'm pretty sure I have to kill that, even though I don't want to kill that. I'm probably not racing that card, so. Gonna need to draw some land. Untapped red source would be great. Basic mountain. Spire Bluff would obviously be the best thing I can draw. Wrecked. That's gonna do a lot of damage to me. Alright. Really needed to draw the land. Had a pretty good hand if we drew land. I'm far enough behind now that there's an argument that I should have been greedy and played the crash through to look for a land. Exile all cards from all graveyards? Not that far behind on board. The problem is we just can't beat anything. That's an example of one of the cards that we can't beat without being able to play spells. I am not running to Red Desert. Well, made a play mistake. I should have cast Crash Shrew probably. Yeah, I should have cast Crash Shrew. That was a mistake. I don't know if it's going to matter, but it was still a mistake. The only way it matters is if I draw exactly Spirebluff Canal. Didn't draw Spirebluff Canal, so it didn't matter. But it was still a mistake. Say it didn't matter, but even small mistakes matter. It just didn't affect the particular game. Yeah, can't really deal with this anymore. We have an unsummon in our deck. We have two, technically. I don't think we sided them out. Yeah, we didn't side them out. Rip. Yep, probably just dead. Can't think of anything that would let me win this game. Can't think of anything at all that would let me win this game. Even top decking and unsummon's not enough. It's just 10. Maybe there's a way I can draw unsummons and be able to block enough to live. But I find that probably unlikely. Okay. Well, looks like it just didn't matter. It's technically just 10. Blossoming Defense kills us. No. Have no out, though. I think if we got to play more than one spell a turn for most of those points, we would have been able to. Alright, well, we have no out. And he's taking too long, so we're just going to go ahead and scoop. So, next round. This hand's pretty miserable, too. All these hands have just been so clunky. Great. I guess we keep another one-lander. Only have 23 lands in the deck. Like, shouldn't be getting draws like that very consistently. Feels like it's about every game. Anything he plays, I'll probably unsummon. That way I can commit mana on my turn. If I draw mana. If I don't draw mana, we probably just lose. Yeah, top exclamation point deck list. Brought to you from a damn Brock Enterprise. No problem. Well, big money. You need him not to have blossoming defense and not to have blossoming defense and not to have fatal push. What are the odds? Yeah. All the odds were about 0. Yeah, you mulligan to 5. What do you do? I'm going to assume this is a hard match anyway. They have just tons and tons of removal. Really? You played that one? Seems worse to me than a cub, but what do I know? So you have a second defense? Rip. So the 2 cards we needed him to have none of, he had both. Don't know if we can win now. Like, maybe if we draw a shock? Maybe if we draw a shock? Or maybe if he just doesn't draw another land the rest of the game? That's our 2 outs. He has to have no land, no Nissa. No untapped land, no Nissa. And we have to get absurdly lucky? If he plays a land, I'll probably scoop. Of course, if he doesn't play a land, I'm probably dead too. Oh, cool. It's a Dreamstalker. I like that card. I guess it's better to play this thing. I have no out, though. I'm just going through motions right now. Can't block this, so I can't save Chandra no matter what. So there's no reason to do anything, I guess. This is the one that gives me the most time. Alright. Well, that works too. That means at least the mage will survive. Well, survive. He could have things in his hand, but you know what I generally meant. Meant like a land didn't just kill it. But if I'm discarding one of my 2 cards no matter what, I'd rather discard the one that gives me the least value. I guess killing this thing's better. I still can't think of any way to win. Even if I did the damage to him, that doesn't help. Alright. We done here. We've had enough. I tap out. I give up. Actually, I think these are decent versus them. I think these are great versus them. I don't think this card's particularly good. I don't think these cards are particularly good. I guess if there's a deck that I ever want that card in for versus, it's this deck. Don't want to crash throughs. We'll bring this back in. I assume most of my creatures do nothing here. What the hell kind of hand's this? Alright, we'll keep it and see what happens. Hey, didn't kill the dude. Sweltering Sun looks awfully awkward when you draw the double Soskar Mage draw. Alright, so he took a point of damage for some random reason. Land? That's a land. We're not just dead. We're giving him the business, friends. We're not just dead. Sneaky, snaky, sneaky, snaky. Of course. Well. You don't really beat snakes. Shoot. If they're left in play untapped, so it's better just to hope he doesn't have a blossoming defense. If he does, we're wrecked. Alright, well, not wrecked. Still not good for us, but not wrecked. Wrecked. Well, we weren't wrecked, and then we got wrecked. Wrecked. Wonder if it's ever worth sweltering sunning there just to make his guy like a 2-1. Let's think about that for a minute. Is it worth just making this a 2-1? Probably not. I'm going to say probably not. I still have that play on a following turn. And if I get an untapped land, my Soul Scar Mage lives? If he just plays Verdus Gearhulk, obviously we're just wrecked. No outs. Okay. Well, I guess we don't have that play on a following turn. We just dead, friends. I would not have left this in versus the decks to have a braid. If he blocks, I can't kill it because this is a sorcery. And this would also kill my guy even if it wasn't. So I'm just dead. I don't really have an out, do I? Alright, whatever. We don't give up here. I have to turn this song off. It is not fit for... If he blocks, my guy's going to die and his guy's going to get bigger, but like... I'm killing my guy? I don't know. I don't think he's going to block. I wasn't winning this game anyway, but that's probably a better line. If nothing else, I missed 1 point of damage. It definitely missed 1 point of damage, but it certainly didn't affect the outcome of the game at least. Alright, I think we're done here. I guess attack for 1,000,000 this turn. I have no draws that can win. These 2 draws were miserable. Tonight's not my night, and I'm also not playing well tonight, so that helps. I'm getting tons and tons of below average draws and mulligans, and I'm not playing well on top of that, so kind of a bad combination. I'm telling you guys, I've been on tilt since the game 1 of round 2 of the first league when Moto cheated me out of a win with a bug. I've been on tilt since then. If I wasn't streaming, I would have legitimately logged out of Moto over that. It made me pretty mad. Okay, it's the best hand we've saw in 3 rounds? At least 4 games. Basic Mountain's kind of odd. I guess the Sultai decks play one Basic Mountain, but still kind of odd. The odds of them hitting Delirium with that are always low. No, he hits Delirium with it. Like, that's just not something that happens very often. Wow. Wouldn't have expected a removal spell. Most of the Delirium decks don't have any removal spells. Other than K returns as a catch-all. Also, don't think we could have left it up for an infinite amount of time, so I don't know that it affected anything, but... So, need to draw some kind of other creature. This is starting to spiral out of control. And I'm certainly not going to live 10 turns for this to do anything. Okay, well, decisions made on that half. We might live this amount of turns, though. Don't care if he gets to eternalize it later, just don't want him to merge with it now. Double Visions probably does some things. Glorybringer. So this guy's playing like more of a Decandio build, I guess. Want to cycle that. Escalate 2. You notice this deck loses a lot more when it doesn't have this card? Don't win a whole lot without this card. Don't win a whole lot without this card. This is by far the best card in the deck. We do not win very much without it. I wonder if Sam is on left so I can host him. Oh, Sam is on. Nice. You guys are watching their own stream then. Spider! It's a spooter, folks. What do we draw? We draw a thing. Alright, well, we play our thing. Whoops. Have unsummons in the deck, so it's better to keep the blue open. What do we got going on here? We got 2 draws at a shock. We'll take the unsummon. Opponent conceded. Yeah, opponent conceded. So he's playing the Glory Bringers and everything. I don't think the counter spells are very good here. I don't think the braids are great here. The Swelders are okay, but they're not great. Ooh, he's got quite a few big casting cost things, like there's Elder Deep things in that deck. I definitely don't want these because I don't think I'm going to be that aggressive. They're just bringing smaller removal spells, I guess, and run it back. Man, the dream is, for those who haven't been here tonight, one of our opponents earlier was playing a brew with the red 1/4 afflict guy that whenever it's unblocked lets you play an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, and they had the Hazard's Undying or whatever, the one that lets you go get 4 dudes, and we got to cooperate and steal it. I thought it was pretty hot. Could not have been more entertained. We lost that game, but there's not many more things that were entertaining than that. I guess we'll play this one. What do we got here? No, I didn't want you to play things. I wanted you to not play things. Thank you for following Crushed Tar, Daedric Slayer, and Infected cards. Still just thinking I'm getting crushed by bots tonight. And that's fine. We like bots here. Anything that makes me look like I'm not an idiot. Because I make myself look like plenty of an idiot. Appreciate the follows, though. If you people are real people. So he kept the... Huh. He kept the Spooder. Yeah, I think they're bots, too. I mean, I have normally 10 to 20-ish views, and I had 161 followers one night. Definitely bots. Oh, sweet. We get to do a lot of damage to our opponent this turn. This is what we call having fun, friends. Our opponent's not having fun, but we're having fun. Alright, so unsummon that guy to get my 2 triggers. Always yield. Always yield. Yes. Player land. Play insult. Yes. Okay. I pressed F6 for a reason. And attack you for 12. That's fun. It might not be enough to win because we know he has a Graph Widow, so if he has an untapped land, it's pretty bad for me. But it's still called having fun. It's also not that bad for me considering we have 7 points of damage in our hand. Well, hand and or graveyard. Oh cool, he didn't have it. So you're saying there's a chance, fam. You're saying there's a chance, fam. Chances are being heard around the world. Wait, don't kill that one. Fam. I guess I'll play around Censor for no reason other than I can. Because I certainly don't think he has it. I can believe Negate now. I can't believe Censor. Alright. Well, he's down to 3, and we have a lot of different damages in play. We've got a lethal attacker, a lethal incendiary flow, and a Chandra plus graveyard spell that are lethal together. Think with the amount of mana he has that it's going to be hard to defend versus all of them. Let's just play the one that does 3 so we don't have to worry about it. Alright, well. We're apparently pretty good versus that deck. Wow, we got an insta-Q. Oh, for the new bots that are here, if you bots want to be cool, you can go follow my Twitter and my YouTube as well. There's a link to our Twitter down below. And on the Twitter, you get to see every time I go live. God, it's a wonderful thing. You also get to see every deck list I play. And you also get to see me argue and whine about a lot of things. Because that's what we do here. We argue and whine about lots of things. The awkwardest funeral. Let's see what he plays. So he's just playing a Lone Tusk Cub. Probably just going to kill a Lone Tusk Cub. So it can become a 4 next turn if he plays any spell. I don't care if it really becomes a 4 because we have an unsummon. So let's just get damage on the table. Wish you guys could hear my music because my music says we can fade into darkness. And that sounds fun. Ooh, and not a tapped land. So that's potentially good. 2 mana for an Abrade and not my Riddle Storm? Hot dang, friends. We're not entirely upset about that. An untapped land would be nice. That's not an untapped land. Boo. Boo-hoo. I kind of want to do a lot of different things on this turn. I don't really know which plays best. I'm really worried about a Bristling Hydra, I guess. So this is the one that plays around Bristling Hydra the best? Spirebluff Canal, but I was only playing 1 mana worth of spells this turn anyway. There is music playing, and used to my stream can hear it, but for some reason you guys can't hear it anymore, and I don't know why. I have no idea what I've did wrong. I've changed no settings, and people just can't hear it anymore. Don't know what I did wrong. Don't know how. Don't know why. So if I get beat by a Blossoming Defense here, it's my own fault because I should have did it in response to the second counter. So that's just a pretty bad play mistake by me if he has Blossoming Defense. Alright, we got lucky, he didn't have it. So we can do multiple things on this turn. We can kill that. We can try to save this for a big turn. I think we want to try to save this for a big turn, but it makes us need to draw an untapped land. Whoops, that's not the one I want to click. I want to click this and escalate. Most people would hate the music I listen to, by the way. I'd have even less views than I do now if people could hear my music. Right now, Kesha's playing. Normally, it's like hair bands from the 80s and 90s. And quite a large bit of the Taylor Swift as well. Alright, well he's tapping 4 mana. So an untapped land is a win. A non-untapped land's basically a win. I've kind of got a pop music thing. I like pop music a little more than I probably should. Yep. We'll tick it up. Play this. This will probably prevent some amount of damage. And it should give me a lot of lethal threats on the following turn, especially if he's not like doing some kind of Elder Deep Fiend chain. I assume Deshandra's dead, but Deshandra got in 2 damage. Deshandra being dead is not something I care about. Technically can't protect the Bristling Hydra like this either. Oh, nice. He's tapping a lot of mana for a Long Tusk Cub and some other stuff, I guess? Champion of Wits. Main deck, I like that. A big fan of the Champion of Wits in the main. Alright, well, we got game 1. As long as I don't mess up and press no twice on this. Kind of want to, if we had more consistent flyers, I think I would want more of these. The insults have been very good. Oops. I about butchered it. Well, I still had the Incinerate flow. I would have had to make multiple mistakes, but... Well, we managed to slide by that game. He showed us Long Tusk Cubs, Rogue Refiners, and Bristling. So I don't think I want the counter spells. And Servants. I don't think I want these. These are still potentials, because I really just don't want the crashes, especially on the draw. Because we can try one of Braid too. I'm determined to let this card be good at some point in life. I've only drawn it one time and it wasn't good when I drew it. Alright, we'll keep. Probably going to do something weird this game. Probably going to lead with the Spire Bluff instead of the Wandering Fumarole. That way I can shock a Cub on his turn and or shock a Servant and go on about my day. Think he can have that back to his hand? Yeah. He was done summon on that one. Well, we drew our best card. We don't know how good it is in this spot. Well, that's interesting. So he doesn't have lands. As far as we can tell, he doesn't have lands. Well, I think I'm just going to play a Fevered Visions. Fevered Visions. Fevered Visions. Fevered Visions. Say it right. Fevered Visions. Fevered Visions. Fevered Visions. Nah. I'm just going to kill this thing, I guess. Like, he could be mana screwed. He doesn't have to have a Hydra. A land and an untapped Hydra are the only two things that makes this very bad, but there's not a whole lot of untapped lands in their deck. I clearly had one. And clearly had that. Well, that makes things very bad very quick. Probably going to need an insult. If he's got a removal spell, we probably don't win. It might have been better just to have divisions out last turn. He'd have 2 lower life. But the Chandra's kind of cool. So he's casting a Glorybringer. That's fine. Let's see how many of these he puts on this. So that's none. Okay, we'll put that back in his hand. So I have to cast one of these this turn, if not both. Just going to play this thing. So this puts him at 9 to potentially 5, depending on his hand and everything. Could draw like a shock or something as well. That's an incendiary flow. Well, depending on what he has, what we just got may be enough. If he just classed Glorybringer again, we good, fam? See, like, my playlist is weird. It's just Pandora Radio. We went from Kesha to Dokkan. Alright, so he's tapping for a Rogue Refiner, leaving 2 green up. It's kind of weird that he keeps doing it like that. But I can't imagine that anything he plays matters now. Should just be dead with the burn-in hand plus the 2 fevered visions. And we get to open another pity chest. Which is pretty fun. Alright, well, play the Chandra. Thank you for following Propane and Flutschlich. And that's 5 damage, so that should be enough. Well, we got another pity chest. Hopefully it's better than the pity chest from before. Since I'm getting ready to log out, I might as well spew and say, down below, there's a link to my Twitter. Go to my Twitter to see every time I go live. Also go to my Twitter to see every time, or every deck list I post and all the arguments I do. On my Twitter, there's a link to my YouTube. On my YouTube, I put up all the videos from the streams. Unfortunately, they're 24 hours delayed because of this sub button up here. But besides that, they'll always be there. And at some point, there'll be content there that doesn't involve the stream whatsoever. So let's see if we hit anything out of the second chest. And we hit a card that I've never even saw before, so I'm just going to assume it's bad. But it's kind of cool art. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and host somebody. Thanks for all the new follows. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Ran a couple of decks with, or a couple of leagues of this deck. I've not changed anything from the open except for added 1 Abrade over 1 Chandra from the 41st place list at the open. And that was mostly due to budgetary concerns. I don't actually think that's correct. Anybody mint? Yeah, I didn't think it was worth anything. Anybody who's looking to play this deck in the future, I highly suggest cutting at least the Crash Shrews. They've been constantly mediocre. A second insult would be pretty cool. Maybe another Abrade. Maybe another Shock. But at least one of these. And to be honest, I wouldn't I'm not positive that it shouldn't just be a blue-red spells deck. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Let's host Sam. Sam Balls plays a lot of cool brews. He's very entertaining. He always answers chat. Like, it's not Brandon the Candio, you know, so like you're not getting perfect play or whatever, but it's kind of hard to give perfect play when you're also interacting with 60 or 70 people that are constantly talking in chat and stuff. But anyway, he's a good dude, plays a lot of cool decks, and he has pretty good success and a great stream, so highly suggest going and watching him. Anyway, later. I'm out.